tell them suckers to move. I ain't in the mood. Got me with the crew, let me do what I do. I tell them suckers to poof. Got me in the booth, lobby in the truth, let me do what I do. Yeah, remember when the U come through, enter the music jungle. Or back with the block, I used to rock, I used to fumble. I still rock down, drop the ball when I run through. I drop the classic shit, and drop the ball, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the OnlyFights podcast. I'm Manny.
My name's Alberto.
What up, what up?
What's up, man?
Had a pretty fun weekend of fights. Scattered. They weren't all at the same time.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, had some boxing on Friday, Saturday afternoon. If you watched the Joyce card out in like UK, I think.
That was on what, Showtime?
It was. I bought it on Fight TV. It was like $12.
Oh, you had to buy it?
Yeah, I guess it was. You know, they were doing it out there, over in like London or whatever. And I mean, Fight TV picked it up, so that was cool. And it was super cheap. So, and obviously the UFC Fight Night and
yeah.
Also the Olympics, but I didn't.
Did you watch any of that?
Nah, that's not something that it's hard for me to follow, the amateur program.
Yeah, you just told me that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it's only amateurs.
Yeah, I read up on it, and I just wait for them to get to the pros.
Yeah. Makes sense though, because I was also wondering like why aren't all the pros is in there?
Yeah, nah, it's the amateur thing, but it's fun though. I mean, there's been some crazy stories. I mean, most of the stories that I can think of are the robberies. If you watch like Floyd Mayweather,
yeah,
he was robbed of his gold. But obviously the worst one was Roy Jones, man. He was whipping that Korean dude and somehow lost the fight, and that was just terrible. But
yeah, I remember him like telling the story on the Joe Rogan podcast about that whole thing. I didn't really know, like, hearing his side of it like that, like, it's totally crazy.
Yeah, when you want to talk about a robbery, that was the definition of a robbery. Yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, I mean, on Friday we had ShoBox 20-year anniversary. ShoBox is obviously Showtime Boxing, but it's a special program for like up and coming fighters. Fighters who they match them up with people who are on that level. Mm-hmm. Whether it be another up and coming fighter or maybe a fighter who has had some losses and might be on the downside of his career and looking to resurrect himself, and there's been a number of that, as well as rising stars, and it's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of, I know like Chad Dawson was one of them that came out of ShoBox. Paulie Malignaggi was one. Guillermo Rigondeaux, who's fighting Casimero in a couple weeks, he came out of ShoBox. A lot of guys. So on Friday it was promoted by Marshall Kaufman, from
Travis Kaufman's dad.
Yeah, he's from out here. Got a gym, had a gym out here. I trained at his gym when I was younger.
His dad had the gym?
Yeah, he's rough, man. He was a rough trainer. But yeah, that was a fun experience. I didn't meet him, but I saw Bernard Hopkins. He came to the gym one time. It was like back in 2005. That was crazy. Talk about starstruck, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But this was in Nebraska. Well, headlined by Kelvin Henderson taking on Isaiah Steen.
How many fights was it?
They televised 3 of them. Co-main was Janelson Figueroa Boca Chica taking on Shenard Bunch. That was iffy. And it started with Martino Jules from Allentown, PA, taking on Aram Abagayan. That was a fun fight. That was a really, in my opinion, dramatic fight. I was obviously rooting for the closer hometown dude, Jules.
Does he train with the Kaufman or no?
I don't think so.
Does Kaufman still? He's
promoted.
Train anybody?
He's promoted by Kaufman.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who he trains with offhand, but they were both coming in undefeated. It was a good fight. Abagayan was the stronger puncher. Jules was the boxer, and Jules was winning, in my opinion, the first 2 rounds, and middle rounds, Abagayan just was walking right through him, was hitting him with some shots, breaking the guard. It was getting bad. And you know, me rooting for Jules, I was like, yo, you gotta do something. You gotta back him off. You gotta throw that jab, something. And he started coming on the later rounds, and it was only an 8-round fight. So in the last round, I had Jules down 1 round, and I said, yo, you need to win this round just to get a draw. I said, the only way you could win this fight is if you knock the dude down. And my God, he baited Avagayan into a left hand and dropped him. I was so freaking hyped, man. I was so happy. I was like, yes, this is a 10-8 round. He could win the fight that way. And then it went to the judges' scorecards, and my God, they had Jules ahead so comfortably. I'm like, wow, man, what fight were you guys watching, man? I mean, you know, I think the rifle guy won, but still.
So he got the decision?
He got the decision, but he definitely didn't need that knockdown.
That's crazy.
I don't even think he needed that last round. It was 77-74, 78-73, and 79-72. Wow, that's crazy. 79-72, only giving Avagayan, I think, 2 rounds. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the co-main, welterweight, Boca Chica taking on Shenard Bunch, and you know, undefeated is Boca Chica, and Shenard Bunch 15-1. Dude, Bunch took this guy to school, man. I've seen Boca Chica fight. He never really fought anybody of you know, good competition. You know, he was just being taken to school, man. You know, he was missing a lot of his shots. Shenard was landing the jab over and over, and you know, just really doing great work. You know, I was giving Boca Chica a few rounds, you know, but like we're talking like 2 or 3 at most, and they scored this a draw.
How many rounds was that one?
A 10-round. One of the judges had Janelson winning 96-94, and the other judge had Shenard Bunch winning 93-97, which is about right. And then one judge had it a draw, so it was a split decision draw.
What did you think about that?
Terrible.
You agree?
No, terrible decision. Terrible. That was a robbery. Like when people talk about the Charlo decision, and you know, nah, man, this was a robbery. This was stupid. You know, Janelson, Figueroa, Boca Chica, man, his whole team was like ecstatic. You know, when they announced the draw. So that. You know,
he said he's undefeated, right?
And he was undefeated, yeah. So he keeps his O.
Yeah. And
Shenard Bunch was very unhappy, and you know, I think that was right.
Yeah.
Because I think that was wrong. You know, but hey, man, that's boxing, right?
Word.
But moving on to the main event. Main event was a good fight. You know, you had 2 undefeated guys, and Calvin Henderson taking on Isaiah Steen, and at super middleweight. You know, good fight. I think I gave Henderson like 4. No, I think I gave him like 3 rounds out of a 10 round fight. Isaiah Steen got the decision. He used his jab. He boxed well. He moved a lot. Moved around the ring a lot. Henderson did catch Steen with a few rights throughout the process. The 3rd round was amazing. I can't remember who landed first, man, but I think Isaiah Steen landed his right hand first and hurt Henderson, and then Henderson came back and landed his, and then Isaiah Steen was hurt and he was holding, and you know, that 3rd round was really fun. But you know, for the most part, it was a pretty tactical affair. I think that decision was good. So all in all, you know, one super questionable decision, another weird one that didn't really affect the scorecards, and then one that I think was pretty good. So,
is it all the same judges for all the fights? They kind of interchange them.
In this one, honestly, I think it was, because I remember the commentators like mentioning that I remember the commentators. Yeah, they mentioned that it was like an inexperienced team or something like that.
Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, it was something to watch on Friday, because I wasn't gonna watch the bare knuckle.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the bare knuckle was Friday too. Yeah. I think like some rapper, one of the young rappers fought like a YouTuber or something. Yeah, Blueface Killer or something.
I always gotta hear about that, man.
I think he won. A decision against the against the YouTuber.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then the main event I think was the two chicks that both got released from the UFC. Paige VanZant and Rachel Ostovich, something like that. They had fought before in the UFC. Paige submitted her, and she got the win in the UFC. They both had a couple losses after that, and then they both ended up getting released. Paige joined bare knuckle boxing. She said that in her first fight, bare knuckle boxing, she made more money than she ever did in her UFC career.
That's the story, right?
I don't know. Like it's just crazy. Like it's just wild to hear that over and over again. I wonder if Dana's starting to feel pressure.
I'm seeing that picture you were talking about, man, where her fists.
Yeah, you saw it?
It looks like another fist.
Yeah, so they went at it. Paige had a fight already in bare knuckle. She lost. This is her second one. This is Rachel's first one. So this, they have to make this fight. This is like there's a lot of hype behind that fight. Like this was their main event, I think. And I think Rachel beat her. I seen some of the couple highlights. She was like, that's just so brutal, man. Like the knuckle on face seems fucking barbaric. Like
yeah.
It's crazy.
It is what it is, man.
But yeah, that picture, you can see her knuckles, like, and her whole hand is like swollen.
Yeah, I just seen
like
that
crazy.
Shit. I think the only time I ordered a bare knuckle event was when Paulie Malignaggi took on that Artem Lobit. That guy.
Connor's one training partner.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. He should have won. I was legit upset. I was like, oh, come on, y'all robbed Paulie, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. They got fucked up in that fight.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, that doesn't catch my interest like that.
Yeah, I don't even know what's that on. Do you have to pay for that, or
it's usually on, I think, on Fight TV as well.
Yeah.
Maybe there's other places to get it. But
that's like that's become another place where a lot of UFC fighters, after they get released, they've been going there.
Yeah, I remember seeing a few of those guys.
I think the one is a champ now. Like Thiago Alves, I think. He's a Brazilian. I know he fought UFC for years. I think he's a champ in bare knuckle. It's crazy.
Dope.
So yeah, speaking of UFC, it was a great card this weekend. Fight Night. TJ Dillashaw and Corey Sandhagen was the main event. I was really looking forward to that.
Good fight.
Yeah, there's 5 fights. They were all really good.
They were all good.
Yeah. The first one, bantamweight. It was like the night of the bantamweights. Adrian Yanez and Randy Costa. Really good fight.
It's crazy.
It was only 2 rounds, but it feels like it was longer. Like I really thought it was the third round. But first round, Randy Costa came out strong, like looked really good. Was outboxing him, like touching him up like crazy. I think he busted his nose in the first round. Had him leaking pretty good. It looked like he was gonna make quick work of him.
Yeah, he really controlled that first round.
Yeah, and then second round started. Randy Costa kept going with the momentum, and then it was like quick. Like I don't know what it was, but he must have got caught, and it just completely turned. Like it seemed like Yanez caught him a few times, and Costa started backing up, and then he caught him with the uppercut right between the guard, and dropped him. And that's it. And then it seemed like he was really hurt because he just put his head straight down and like wasn't doing anything, and ref stopped it.
Yeah.
It was like kind of shocking. Like it was like the way it turned, it was quick.
Yeah, no, I was watching it just like you said. I mean, the first round, Costa was in control, and even in the second round, he fueled off that momentum and just ran out of gas. And then Yanez came back and pushed him up against the cage, caught him with that uppercut or whatever it was, and dropped him. And that was it. Like that's how you finish someone, man. That's crazy, That takes heart.
So he got the second round KO, TKO. That was fun. That was fun to fight. A little comeback. And then we had flyweight women, Miranda Maverick and Maycee Barber. They're both, you know, pretty young coming up. I'm surprised they put them up against each other, like, you know, this early, because they're both going to be around for a while. Like, both these chicks are strong and, like, from that new generation that they can do, like, everything pretty much. Like,
it was a good fight, though.
Yeah. I really thought Miranda Maverick would have the advantage, like, boxing. I know Maycee Barber's more, like, wrestling background. In the first round, I would say Miranda Maverick controlled, you know what I mean? I think she was kind of hitting her. I mean, they were kind of both, you know, I think it takes, it seemed like it took them a little bit to find each other's, like, distance or...
Yeah, styles. And...
yeah, you know what I mean? So, it wasn't much in the first round, but I think Miranda controlled it for the most part.
So did I.
Second round, they definitely were, you know, were both a lot more active. I think Maycee Barber got a takedown, right? I think she got the takedown. I think Miranda also got a takedown, and then at the end of it, I think she had her back. I think she had her back at the end of the second round, and I would have said she won that second round too.
Who's that? Miranda.
Miranda Maverick, yeah. Because Maycee had a couple takedowns throughout the fight, but I feel like she didn't do much. Like the other, Miranda was able to get up pretty quick.
Well, I remember Miranda like defending a lot of those takedowns.
Yeah, she did a good job defending the takedowns. Even if she got down, I don't know if any of them counted as actual takedown because she got up pretty quick.
Right.
The one time in the second round, Miranda got Maycee Barber down. She had her back. She had the body triangle, and she pretty much had her stuck. And she had her like that. I mean, she just got it kind of late in the round. She might have had 30 seconds left, and time ran out. But she ended that round like with full back control.
Right.
I thought that was more meaningful than any of the other takedowns that Maycee Barber had, really.
Right.
So I at that point had to fight 2-0 Miranda.
Same. Yeah.
Third round, they both knew that it was close. And they both fought real well. Both real strong, tough girls. Like they were, you could tell they both were having trouble, like nobody was really dominating the wrestling and stuff. Like it was pretty even.
Yeah.
Maycee Barber did land like a big spinning elbow, I think. And she might have even won that round. I think she got her down once, but again, it wasn't like she didn't do much. Got her down, maybe got her back up. I guess you could say she was controlling like the clinch against the cage.
Yeah,
right. Like
she had a much better third round.
That seemed to be the kind of the story with the decisions, with this one in the main event, like the clinch control. Like that's the judges, and especially in the third round, it seemed like that's what the judges were looking at.
Yeah.
So Maycee Barber ends up winning the fight decision, and I thought she lost the fight.
Yeah, I had it 2-1 Miranda. I didn't.
Maycee definitely was strong and by the end she was the one putting the pressure on in the third round. And like I said, she might have even won that third round, but it looks like the judges were just like, it seemed like they only watched the third round pretty much.
Yeah.
Like if it's really, if we're judging off the 3 rounds, I think Miranda won that. I think even the commentator said that, right? I think DC and the other guy said that she, they're like, Maycee Barber's gonna go back and watch that fight tomorrow and see that, it wasn't quite like that. But good fight. I did expect more out of Miranda. She seemed to get tired towards the end, and I think that's why, Maycee won that last round. Maycee seemed fresh. She seemed ready to go. It was a good fight, though. But those 2 girls are going to be around for a while. Like, I can see either one of them being champ one day. They're 125.
Flyweight, yeah.
Yeah, they still got long... I mean, they got long careers ahead of them. Next one was featherweight. Darren Elkins. That guy's been around for a while. Both these guys actually are kind of veterans. Yeah. This was like a fun veteran fight. Darren Elkins and I think Darrick a 2 in a different way. Minner. These guys both got 25 plus fights. It was a fun one. Darrick Minner is like a wrestler. He pretty much dominated the first round, but they were both really good on the ground. Like it was a lot of scrambling, like a lot of
yeah, it was very technical.
Yeah, it was a lot of technical wrestling and shit. Darren Elkins was bleeding pretty good by the end of the first round.
Yeah.
Second round, that seemed to be the same thing. Darrick Minner kind of dominating, and I think he just got tired. That wrestling is no joke, man. Like that shit fucking...
Yeah.
Your arms and everything, just... Because it seemed like they were wrestling, and Minner was kind of winning, and then out of nowhere, he got tired. And Elkins just put the gas on the wrestling, and he got him in a crucifix, and just was hitting him in the face, and the guy couldn't get out. I think he had him like that for a good, 30 seconds, and...
What was his motto? Something about... It's not a fight. If there's no blood, it's not a fight. Something like that. Because
his face was leaking. Yeah, like Minner was really putting it on him. Like it was pretty bad. He was really hurting him, cut him a bunch of times, and I guess he just gassed. Like it was crazy.
It was a fun, quick fight.
Yeah, but it was definitely fun. Elkins is known for that though. He's like super tough guy. Like he's known for having those like bloodbaths and
Danger,
shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Damage. Or...
Damage. I think.
Damage.
Yeah, that's his nickname. Damage. That's a hell of a nickname.
It's like a Nate Diaz.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it was crazy, but that was fun. That was a fun fight. The co-main was really good.
Lit.
Kyler Phillips, young guy. I've seen him fight a couple times. He's fun to watch. He's coming off a couple big wins. And then Paiva, Brazilian guy. Don't think I've seen him fight before. Obviously, he's like a jiu-jitsu guy. Kyler, first round, was putting it on him. Like, I think they.
Yeah, that was a 10
I'm honestly
round.
surprised. Like that could have been stopped the first round. I think, right? Like towards the end of the first round, he hurt him. Like he dropped him. Yeah, he had him hurt pretty bad, and he was hitting him with elbows. Like Kyler was really putting it on him that first round. Like the fight could have been stopped in the first round. Paiva really got saved by the bell. Second round, I mean, Paiva was tough, man. I mean, I think he drops Phillips once in the second round, and he does a lot better. It's a lot more even on the ground. I mean, it was pretty even. I wouldn't say anybody was really dominating on the ground. Kyler seemed to be getting tired though. He definitely seemed to be getting tired in the second round. But I would say he won. I would say he won. Like he got dropped, I think, but he was still touching him more. Paiva just got a hell of a chin. It was crazy the shots he was taking. Third round, Paiva turns it up a little bit, and Phillips is he's obviously getting even more tired. And I would give him that last round. I think Paiva won that last round.
So did I. I gave him the last two.
Yeah, like he was like, Phillips was tired, and Paiva was able to take advantage, in the clinch and taking him down. But it was kind of the same story as the female fight. Like, I think Kyler Phillips won the first two rounds, and then Paiva won the last round. And the judges just it seemed like they only watched the last round and gave it to Paiva, the decision. I was really surprised with that one too.
I thought you could have gave Paiva the second round as well, but I thought that first one was like a 10-8 round for sure. So like that would be a draw on my card. But
I guess
it was a good fight though. That was my favorite fight of the night.
That was a really good fight. I was really surprised. That guy was gassed too though. Paiva, they both left it all out there. It was a great fight. It was a great fight. Yeah, that definitely could have been fight of the night.
Action packed.
Yeah, I think both those guys will be around for a little while. The main event, another bantamweight fight. That bantamweight division is stacked right now.
Yeah, man.
Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw. I didn't even know, but these guys were like training partners. Apparently, they trained together back in the day.
Yeah, I read that.
It's crazy because I've heard, I've read things about it, and I've heard people say both things. I've seen people say that, and when they trained, Corey got the best of TJ, and then I see other people say that TJ got the best of Sandhagen.
Mm-hmm.
They got similar styles in the sense just that they're both like kind of awkward and hands down, and have kind of awkward movements and stuff, and really really quick. I was interested to see how TJ would look after being suspended for 2 years, but he looked good, man. He looked sharp.
Yeah.
They both looked good first round. I feel like Corey was like, he's very I wouldn't say that he's like does a lot of things like showy things, but he does do a lot of like spinning attacks and stuff. And I feel like every time he did something like that, or he tried to, that's when he got taken down. They ended up in that awkward position in the first round. Like I don't know what he might try to do a flying knee or something. And TJ went for the takedown, and they ended up like in a fucking like 69 position. And then he got like a reverse triangle on him on TJ, but wasn't able to lock it up. And then TJ just kind of dominated on the ground. Like that was obviously TJ's game plan. It seemed like to wrestle him. TJ's shorter and stockier, and Sandhagen's long and skinny.
Yeah, Corey he seemed a little deterred in the fight, because he was landing some shots, but it wasn't really doing much to Dillashaw.
And I think his last 3 fights were like first round knockouts.
Right. Yeah, that I know. That's what I noticed from him, and what I noticed from Dillashaw the most was when he got that cut, man, that really bad cut, and he seemed like almost like relentless, like because he was afraid that the fight might get stopped at any moment, which it probably could have. I mean, especially at first.
As soon as the cut happened, Herb Dean had the doctor check it,
and it was bad. He was asking the doctor to wipe the blood away, and
Herb was like, "Nah,
you can't do that. He just has to look at the."
And
cut.
Apparently, that's the cut that opened in training camp. Like this fight had got pushed back a couple weeks because TJ got cut in training. Obviously they didn't say what the cut where it was, but that was the thing that he got cut. And after the fight, he said that cut was a cut that he got in training, so that's why it just opened up so quick.
I'm looking at the stats, and I'm noticing, because I know he kept grabbing Corey, and it looked like he was going for the takedown, but he was more so just almost like clinching. I guess they were crediting all those as takedown attempts, which he obviously didn't do it. So he's 2 for 19. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it was kind of like like I said, in the female fight where he was clinching him and had him against the cage, and I guess you can say he's in a controlling position, but he wasn't really doing much. I don't think he took him down too much. In the first round, when it ended on the ground, Corey did get him like in some kind of like knee bar or like a leg lock.
Yeah,
it seemed like TJ kind of just let him have it for a second and was like punching him in the face. And I think they said that his knee did pop or something because he went back to his corner and he like pointed at it. He like was tapping his knee, and I think he said later that he thinks his knee did pop during that little thing. So that was pretty crazy. He kept going after that. I think the cut happened in the second round.
Yeah,
TJ was really like I think he won because of his like TJ's two-time champ already, so he got a lot of experience. I think that's what really helped him. The experience, like he knew how to win the fight. You could tell his game plan. And it worked. It definitely worked.
Yeah, and I think he had. I put down here he had better octagon control, and I think that's what really helped. And
I wanted to look that up.
A lot of those rounds were pretty close, you know. But I think that could have been what helped him win it. It was a good fight though.
Yeah, for sure.
Overall,
I think the second round is when he cut him, and he kind of hurt him. Like he definitely was outboxing him in the second round, touched him up pretty good. So I would give Corey maybe the first two. Maybe the first two rounds. You could possibly give TJ the first. I think Corey won the second for sure. The third one, I guess after that, I think they were all pretty similar. They were pretty even in the boxing. Anytime Corey tried to do a flying knee or some kind of spinning attack, it was like TJ saw it coming and just took him down right away, or got his arms around him and pinned him up against the cage.
Yeah, I gave TJ the first, third, and fifth. Thought it was good decisions.
Yeah, so he got the decision. Yeah, I definitely wasn't a robbery. I mean, after rewatching it the second time today, I see more why they gave it to TJ. And like I said, I think it's just that experience, like the octagon control, like you said. But I'm sure we'll see a lot of Corey. That division stacked. This puts TJ right back in the title contention.
Back in the mix.
The bantamweight belt, Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling are fighting for that one. They have to fight again because do you remember that one? That was the one where Peter Yan was a champ defending against Sterling and he hit him with an illegal knee while he was grounded. Yeah. And then Aljamain, like people were saying that he was acting after that. Right, he was like rolling around on the ground.
Well, they were taking too long to make a decision. And, and then he was acting all surprised and they gave.
He was pretty much saying like, I can't continue like. So if you can't continue, at that point, I guess the rule was he wins the belt, it's over, because it was an illegal knee. Grounded opponent. I think he has, if he has all four on the ground, you can't knee him. It was pretty crazy. So now that they have to fight again, and Peter Yan was winning that fight. Peter Yan was dominating him. Like,
I do remember.
I think Peter Yan broke Sterling in the first round. Like Sterling looked so just like what the fuck is like he wasn't. I don't think he was ready for that. Those Russian guys are different. And Aljamain just can't hurt him standing up. Aljamain's boxing is like his punches are so weak. It seems like, he's like a jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah. He actually beat Sandhagen, like in a crazy fight. I mean, it wasn't a crazy fight, but it was really quick. Sterling like got his back within like 30 seconds. Somehow like jumps off the cage and gets on his back and chokes him out. Chokes out Sandhagen like in like a minute or something. That was pretty wild. Yeah. So TJ will probably fight that. The winner of that fight next.
Dope. That's dope. Yeah. So I forgot to mention the
what?
The card in London. I'll just quickly run through Joe Joyce taking on Carlos Takem. Takem being a seasoned veteran, former opponent of pretty much everybody, man. He took on Anthony Joshua, Povetkin, Chisora, Joseph Parker. Lost to all of those guys. And lost to Joe Joyce. He was doing pretty good, though. He was landing some pretty mean right hands. Joe Joyce, man, he's just, I don't know, man. He's like slow with his punching, man. But he can get it done. He lands a really nice jab. That's what, got him the victory against Daniel Dubois. Carlos Takem, he was pretty game in the first couple rounds. Came out to John Cena's song. Remember that?
Which one? Yeah, You Can't See Me?
Word Life. There's a Word Life, Basic Thugonomics. That song.
Yeah.
I know it got a dope beat, but I just remember thinking like Word of all songs to pick. You picked a John Cena song.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was a 6-round stoppage. Joe Joyce had him hurt. Carlos Takem tried to weather the storm, and the referee was keeping a close eye. And I remember just yelling at my TV, like, bro, like, Takem, you gotta throw punches, man. You can't just take all these shots. The referee's gonna stop the fight. And he stepped in. And
what round?
He 6th round. He actually shoved the referee too. I was like, oh man, he can get in a lot of trouble for doing that.
Yeah. Oh, after the ref stopped it?
The ref stopped it, and he just right away tried to push the referee off him. I was like, bro, you gotta protect yourself, man. If not, the referee gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, not bad fight. Like I said, it was like $12. So.
Oh, that was on the other card you mentioned, right?
Yeah, it was during the day because it was out in London.
Yeah, so that's it for the UFC. That was that card. There's no other fights, right?
Nah, I didn't watch any other fights.
Yeah, so what's up? What else we got coming up in boxing?
Boxing, we got let's see.
There's a couple fights announced, right?
Yeah, a couple fights coming up. I'm looking at we got coming up. The fight I'm really looking forward to. 2 fights on the same day. I don't know why boxing does this to me. It breaks my heart. But as I mentioned earlier, Guillermo Rigondeaux will be taking on Casimero. That's going to take place on Showtime, August 14th. Again, same day on DAZN. We have Virgil Ortiz stepping up, taking on former Terrence Bud Crawford opponent, Igis Kavalaskis, better known as Mean Machine. He gave Terrence Crawford a really good fight. He dropped him. I don't care what nobody says, man. He didn't get credit for it, but that was a good fight. He's a former Olympian. This should be a good fight. And both cards also have pretty good undercards. So
what, the different promotions? They're going to be on...
Yeah, one's going to be on Showtime. One will be on DAZN, so we're going to have to grab 2 screens.
Word.
But on the Showtime card, you have Antonio Russell, which I believe is Gary Russell's little brother, taking on Emmanuel Rodriguez for the interim WBA bantamweight title. That should be a good fight. And on the DAZN undercard, you got Roger Gutierrez taking on Rene Alvarado for Gutierrez WBA regular junior lightweight title. And you also have Felix Alvarado taking on Eric Lopez for the IBF junior flyweight title. So some decent fights on those cards. That's going to be like the next, in my opinion, big, good boxing.
When is that?
Fight. That's the 14th of August.
Word.
It's a couple weeks from now. And then a week after that, you have Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to keep talking about that because I love that fight. And the closer we get to it, the more I
can't wait for that
feel like Manny might have something in the tank to just show us that, it's going to be a good fight. A week after that, you have David Benavidez taking on Jose Uzcategui. That's going to be a good one. Super middleweight title eliminator, which pretty much means the winner of that faces the winner of Canelo versus Caleb Plant. And we've all wanted to see Canelo versus David Benavidez, so that's looking like that could be the fight to make. And the day after that is the Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley Showtime pay-per-view. And I'll stop there.
Did the Canelo fight get announced?
You know what? I was looking at it, and here it is. It's here on ESPN's website. September 18th, Las Vegas Fox pay-per-view title fight: Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant, 12 rounds for Canelo's WBC, WBA, and WO super middleweight title, and Plant's IBF super middleweight title, which means undisputed. And I don't know if because it's on ESPN's website, it's official, but it's on ESPN's website, so.
Hopefully.
That's a good one. Oh, I also see Katie Taylor takes on Jennifer Han for the undisputed women's lightweight title September 4th. That's cool too.
Word. There's a couple UFC fight nights. Actually, next week is a fight night. Uriah Hall and Sean Strickland. Uriah Hall is pretty good. He's like real technical. He's not very, he's not really a fan favorite. He's not very exciting to watch, but he's getting a lot of wins. His last fight actually, was when he fought Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman broke his leg on him.
Yeah, I remember
that. Was crazy. That was wild. Doesn't look like too many other not too many big fights on that card. And then the next one would be August 7th, the pay-per-view, Derrick Lewis and Cyril Gane, and Amanda Nunes and Julia Pena. Oh, Jose Aldo fight too. Pedro Munoz. That should be a good fight.
Yeah.
This fight too, Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's real fun to watch. This will probably be a number one contender fight. Because I think Michael Chiesa, he wanted to get the title shot next. I guess he got to fight Vicente Luque.
Nice.
Remember that commercial? That was Michael Chiesa and who was it?
Chandler, right?
No, Justin Gaethje. Justin
yeah.
Gaethje and Michael Chiesa. They're like at a party or something, like a fight party or something, and they're just like as soon as he opens the door, they're like facing off, and then they're just facing off the whole time. He's like, we should do this more often.
It's funny because I'm always seeing like how there's like the full commercial and then there's like a shortened version. Yeah. They're always giving the short. And the other day I seen the full commercial and like I was laughing my ass off. He's like, should be a good fight. It's like, can't see the TV.
Yeah. Man, they gotta do it better. They gotta get some more commercials though, because we watched the commercial that night and it was like, man, that was a funny ass commercial. And then they showed it like 3 times during every commercial break. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, I'll stop there with that. A couple of fights that we saw that might happen are the Logan Paul and Anderson Silva.
Oh yeah.
I kind of hope that happens. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really know who that benefits because that's just YouTube versus.
Oh yeah, that's not really unlike Jake Paul. I don't think Logan Paul cares for like. Yeah. Respect in the boxing world.
I don't think he ever won.
Yeah, he hasn't. He only has 2 fights and he lost both.
Yeah. Anderson Silva was a kickboxer, so
Yeah, I think he had a couple amateur boxing fights. Yeah, he fought recently Chavez Jr., right?
Yeah, that was Chavez Jr. really weird card. I watched that. Unfortunately,
was that the one with Lamar Odom? No.
No, that was something completely different. But that was the one where just a bunch of like they were trying to call it like okay, so they had Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. taking on Hector Camacho's son, and that was.
Did he fight his dad?
Yeah, because Chavez Sr. fought Hector Camacho's son.
Yeah.
Chavez Senior back in the day fought Hector.
He fought Camacho back then. Wow.
So apparently this was like it was some fake rivalry, like and everything about it was just ridiculous, man. They fought with it was an exhibition, like they fought with headgear, and then in the last round, they were like Chavez took his headgear off. He's like. We're gonna do this, and Camacho's like, if you want to do it, I'll do it. So and Canelo was there, so like he freaking had like they called for Canelo, bro. Like it's only supposed to be a minute in between rounds.
I did see that.
And they just called for Canelo, and he just like a freak, like he saw the Batman symbol, bro. He just hopped out of his seat and ran to the ring
and gave some advice,
and just like. Was stood in the corner of Chavez, and it was like some really fun. It definitely reminded me of like some WWE shit.
Yeah, it sounds scripted.
Like, definitely, and but the fight before that was Silva taking on Chavez Jr. And I knew Chavez Jr. was gonna lose, man. Like he always finds ways to screw things up, and he didn't train for the fight.
He missed weight too.
He missed weight like crazy. I'm pretty sure he didn't. He refused to take any drug tests. You know what I mean?
Which Anderson Silva was probably cool with because, he got a history of testing hot.
Yeah. Well, regardless, man, it was bad. Like, he was toying with him in the ring.
It was nice to see, like, vintage Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
though.
he
like,
was doing his little...
Like, calling him forward, like, you know what I mean?
Yep,
like,
all that.
Like, telling him, like, meet me in the middle, like...
Yeah, it was funny.
It's got to be kind of embarrassing, man, like...
No, bro. I mean,
and he was just like, see, like Chavez just playing right into it. Like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna come forward now," and then he's pieces him up. Yeah, it looked pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think Canelo's brother was on the card, Ramon.
Really?
Alvarez or whatever. Canelo has like 5 brothers that are professional boxers, and I think they're all terrible. Like I think they all have like losing records, and so it's like at least you got one of them.
Yeah.
That was a really weird card. I forget what they called it. Something about like legends of something.
I think Tyson's thing was like Legends Only or something. I don't know if that's what it was.
No, it definitely wasn't that. And then he's not going through with that, from what I hear.
Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna fight anymore. They said he was supposed to fight Lennox Lewis again, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like I think Mike Tyson's kind of like seeing again that everybody wants to come after his money. Like I think they've seen after that one fight that he can generate a lot of money, and I think everybody wants a piece of it.
Oh, that's exactly what happened.
And he's like, I don't know if I want to do this again. I don't know if I want to go through this shit again. Mike Tyson seemed to be in such like a peaceful place. Like when the one time when he was on Joe Rogan and he was retired before and he talks to him, he was out of shape, and he talks to him coming back. He seemed like happy, like peaceful, like I mean, he seemed like he was in a good place. I was surprised that he went back to it.
Yeah, I think it was all about charity and things like that.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He said all the money was going to charity.
Wanting to give back, and maybe he was trying to start a league and working with it was Triller, right? Work, and then he said he wasn't gonna work with Triller, and I don't know.
Yeah, like there was something like right after the event that he really didn't like, that he announced, I'm never working with Triller again.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, well, you have a deal with us, and he was like, no, I don't. So.
Yeah, but this reminds me, De La Hoya and Vitor Belfort. Not only is that fight happening, but they're making it a real fight. They're making it a professional
boxing fight,
a professional bout, and so I'm guessing it's going on De La Hoya's record. I think it's gonna be at 180 pounds.
That's
which
crazy.
Is insane because like I think the biggest De La Hoya ever fought at was like 154, maybe 160.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever fought at 160, but that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, like Vitor's like I don't think he's retired yet. Like Vitor's been super active.
Wow.
This guy's fought like I don't know if he's fought below like a welterweight, but I know for a fact he fought at light heavyweight and heavyweight. So he's a big guy, and like I don't think he's another guy that's from that era where they were all they're all fucking juicing. So I just hope Oscar's been training. Vitor's an animal. Like I mean, I know this ain't MMA, but I think if Oscar's not ready, he could get hurt.
Yeah, and also it's gonna be 2-minute rounds. It's weird too. I don't know, man.
With boxing gloves, I guess. Yeah, well, if it's a real boxing fight. Then.
Yeah, but it's a mess.
Who was it? I saw somebody say. Oh, I saw. I don't remember if I brought this up before. Henry Cejudo said he wanted to box Ryan Garcia with MMA gloves.
That's weird.
And his thing was because then it only takes one shot. You know what I mean? With the smaller gloves. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting though. Boxing with the small gloves, like.
Might be good practice for Ryan Garcia to
and you
fight
can't,
Tank
you
Davis.
can't block as much with, you know what I mean? Like in boxing, obviously the gloves is a huge, a lot bigger. They use it to block a lot, eat more.
Well, Garcia leaves his freaking chin out, man. So
yeah,
he would need huge gloves to protect his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Ryan Garcia. He was supposed to fight Javier Fortuna, pulled out because of mental health issues. Now I guess he wants to fight Tank. Hey, man, do your thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
We'll probably see him against Jojo Diaz, the dude who replaced him to fight Fortuna.
Yeah, a lot of crazy fights people talking about.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, you got anything else?
No, I think that's all I got.
Word.
I feel like I don't know, it's just because we started doing this, but the combat fight world seems to be like very hot right now. I feel like there's always people always talking about fights coming out and fights getting announced.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to have the Fury Wilder fight this weekend, I think, right? Yeah, we're supposed to be this weekend. Yeah, that's why there wasn't any like big fights.
Yeah,
because it was supposed to be that. So that's what we should have been talking about today. But that's all cool. They're gonna fight in October. That's gonna be a really lit undercard.
Word.
So we'll talk about that in a future episode. So thanks again for checking us out, tuning in. My name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
And we out.